Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy here again, Dean from Burn 1, and as promised, I believe the event should be over, so here is the deck that I decided to bring to the first team event that I was participating in. We do not know how this deck went yet, as I'm currently recording on Friday, March 29th, and I believe the tournament is on Saturday, March 30th. So, basically what we've got here is an Uma deck that, after talking to some people quite a bit, trying out some other lists, and just like thinking about the format and like what the deck wants to do and what cards were missing compared to Japan, I settled on this deck. Now, some important cards to talk about that I think, you know, most people do normally play, that maybe we should talk about first, is... one, there is no Narita Top Road. I believe the card is terrible. I've noticed that when I look at newer Uma lists that have top, that Narita Top Road is not in all of them. And I think that's like something that people are starting to understand, is that the 4 mana draw 2 ditch one is not a replacement for the 1 mana cards, nor the 3 mana top check 3. It's a lot more of a commitment to the board. It's a higher mana commitment on a later turn, and it just in general does less. And because of that, we notice that we're less likely to be able... So, like, if we cut the 4 mana card, it's harder to fill our grave. And because it's harder to fill our grave, cards like the 4 mana kill spell become a worse draw. And also, when we remove our filter... Because, like, you know, right? Normally, in Japan, they had the top check 2 multiple times. They had the top check 3 multiple times. It becomes harder to play these tech cards like Maruzensky. At least this is in my belief, right? I know that some people are still very high on Maruzensky, very high on cards like Rice Shower. I do not like these cards due to the fact that we don't have the filter to, like, ignore them when they're not good, if that makes sense. So we took a lot of those cards out, but even crazier is that we also took out the vodka. Every time I play this deck, I feel like vodka, I have to have Daiwa plus vodka and multiple vodkas, possibly. But if I have like 1 Daiwa, 2 vodkas, right now I have to wait till 6 if I want to commit to the board, I feel like that's kind of what I want to do. But now I'm holding these dead cards, and you know, you can disagree with this, but this is how I felt when I played the deck. It's just, like, very awkward trying to juggle another card. I don't like 2 and 3 card combos that you're unable to search out pieces. And I don't like a lot of the cards that were being utilized to help you get those pieces. I don't think that Daiwa Vodka is a bad board. I just think that the amount of bricks you have to play to make it worth it were not worth for this deck. So let's talk about some of the big inclusions in this deck. And, like, really what it is trying to do. Okay, so... we play a lot more 1-drops than normal. 16, because we're on triple Top Gun. This card is insane. This is the best 1-drop in Uma. I can guarantee you that much. It's a 2-mana rush, but if you have 4 cards on board, get Storm. That's more important, because it's going to allow us to get crazy combos, because it's cards. And if you didn't notice, in this deck, we're going to be playing Will to Overtake as a 3-of, and Squats as a 3-of as well. Because... honestly, the big thing about this deck is that we're playing Smart Falcon, giving us access to Uma's only mass AoE board wipe to be able to kind of obliterate the mirror match, right? If you go Daiwa Vodka in the mirror, your opponent cannot kill both cards. Usually. So with this, we're able to clear a Daiwa Vodka board by picking up these amulets, recycling them, and then put a massive follower on the board and just continuously apply pressure while maintaining a large hand. And then the Will to Overtake will also help us clear up our draws by scrying 3. And then the Squats is a cantrip, so like normally you only have Special Week. The really, in a normal Uma deck, your only 2-drops are Special Week, which is a cantrip draw. It's just like basically a cantrip, it just draws 1. And then make some noise that you float, and that's it. Like, you don't really have a lot going on at 2, because Agnes is realistically a 3 to 4 drop if you really think about it. So what are you doing on 2 in a normal deck? Well, now I have Squats, and I have 6 different 2-drops that will allow me to maintain a large hand, and then be able to hold up removal in the later game. But the nice thing about these amulets is if I'm not picking them up, they're filling the board, which means that there are times that I can go Top Gun. I can go like something like Measuro Arden, Top Gun, if I have like 3 amulets on board or something like, right? Less is just like commit some other cards to board. Crack this for 2, play down a second Top Gun, and then that's a storm damage for like 2 mana, and then I get a draw. It's like insane. It's like actually kind of crazy how much reach you can get out of nowhere whenever your opponent taps out. Kind of more so than a normal Uma deck, honestly. The Storm spell, because we're able to give the Smart Falcon Storm, which is insane. Sometimes you can go triple squats. This has happened where multiple turns in a row, recycling the Smart Falcons, keeping my opponent off of board, and then slamming down the Storm spell for like 8 to 9 Storm damage. Because the squats get +1/+1. Daiwa's here because she searches a spell. I mean, you know, this card is insane by itself. You don't need the vodka to make this card good. The Saiyan Sky, so that our Flowers for You actually have a target that is well worth it. It's not just a 1-mana cantrip. It is a 2 damage push. And really, what made me play this over the other build, more so than the board wipe, is also the fact that I am able to consistently build real combos. Like when you're playing normal Uma, right? And you play down the 3 mana, the top road, and you draw 2 Ditchwood, and you have to get rid of a piece. When you play down the Rice Shower, right? Like you're milling random cards, and then you get to get a piece back, and that helps fuel combo, kind of. But with this deck, rather than like have these like heavy cards in our hand in the early game, right? We have the squats, we have the wills to overtake, so we're able to filter. Our hand is less dead than normal. And that means, especially in like the early game, I don't know if you guys have played Uma, but like sometimes you go like 2, you play Special Week, she lives, kind of cool, and now your hand is like Daiwa, Oguri Cap, Narita Bryant. Like your hand is like these cards that you can't put on the board yet, and like maybe a Flowers for You. So you Flowers for You, you draw a card, you get 1 extra damage. It feels okay. In this deck, the Flowers for You facilitate massive Saiyan Sky pushes, and Daiwa Scarlet Storm. Like you can, like, you know, like done this a few times. Daiwa Scarlet Top Gun or Measuro Arden Top Gun, triple spell, 2 of them being Flowers for You, and then push in for like 11 to 12 damage. So because we play a much, like, you know, a much lighter curve, a lot more 1 and 2 drops, and a lot of them cantrip, a lot of them deck fix, we're able to build up these massive combos that I feel these combos are far stronger than the Daiwa Scarlet turn. These combos are better than what normal Uma does. But I know I'm hyping the deck up. You know, this video could have completely different repercussions, like completely different like framing if this weekend I eat shit. But I just wanted to show you guys what I've been cooking and really kind of talk to you about the things that I've been thinking about the game and really like my frame of reference. Also, there is a 1 of Narita Bryant because I think it's the strongest card in the game. Originally, that was a Meshiro Doto to be able to like have the 4th copy of the 1-mana amulet, but that card was... It's kind of like the same problem as the top road. Is like I think that a 4-mana 4/4 that does literally nothing else is not good in this game. And so it had to go. It had to go. So I put in the Narita Bryant instead, just to have like the massive board presence in the like a game that maybe somehow the Smart Falcon's not winning me. But yeah, so hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully it does well, and if not, you know, maybe you can ignore this video. But until next time, this is Dean signing out.